And welcome back. So we now have leaderboards in our game, and we have this lovely view all of my leaderboards controller. However, it would be awfully nice if while I were in the middle of playing a game or done with a game, I could still also see the high scores that were available in that particular level. Just so I know what score I have to beat or so on. And so we can do that with our leaderboard controller. Unlike the leaderboards controller with an S, the leaderboard controller lets you immediately bring up the scores for a specific leaderboard. So this is pretty easy to do. Let's jump into my game view controller. And let's look at our little nib file here. And I'm going to add a button. Let's put it down here at the bottom. And we'll call it leaderboards. Or I guess leaderboard with an exclamation point because we're super excited about this leaderboard. And we'll anchor it to the bottom here. Boop. Done. And I'm going to bring up my helper view control, or my helper editor. Let's go into automatic, and in our game view controller, maybe here, we will add a view leaderboard button was pressed. Action. There we go. So let's go into our game view controller here, and we'll edit this thing. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a leaderboard controller. Leaderboard VC equals GPG leaderboard controller alloc init with leaderboard ID. And I don't actually know what our leaderboard ID is because we've gone ahead and abstracted it away in my leaderboard manager class. So maybe what I'll do is let me go ahead and create a little class method here that will return an NSString, which will be leaderboard ID for difficulty level. And we'll pass in our difficulty level. Simple enough. And I think actually implementing this is also pretty straightforward. Basically going to return, and maybe we'll just cast this just to make sure. Leaderboard IDs, level. And wouldn't kill me to add some arraign bounds checking here, but I'm not gonna, because this is a sample app. So let's go back to our game view controller, and let's create a little NSString leaderboard ID equals, need to go up here and import our GMN leaderboard manager. All right, now let's go back down here, and now we can create our NSString. That's our leaderboard ID, and that will equal GMN leaderboard manager, leaderboard ID for difficulty level self.gamediff. And now we can basically say our leaderboard VC is our leaderboard controller alloc init with leaderboard ID, leaderboard ID. Leaderboard VC leaderboard delegate will be self, and then we can call self present view controller our leaderboard VC animated yes, completion handler nil. We're going to get a little warning because we haven't declared ourselves as a GPG leaderboard delegate, so let's do that. I'll go up here, and we'll do it right here. Remember, this is leaderboard controller delegate, not leaderboards controller delegate. And now we can add our delegate method. Leaderboard view controller did finish, self dismiss, view controller animated yes, completion nil. And we're done. So now I can run this. And maybe I can jump into my easy game here. And thinking maybe before I start playing this game, let's see what the leaderboard says. And I can look and say, oh, look, This guy Todd here, he's got an all-time score of 3. No way I can beat that. So maybe I'll go back and check out my medium game. Here, if I view the leaderboard, remember, we're creating a leaderboard controller with the leaderboard ID of our medium leaderboard. So we'll directly bring up the scores for this medium leaderboard. That's great. And then I say, well, I guess let's just check out the hard game. And here, my leaderboard, I've got no scores yet. And so maybe I, as a player, now say, well, this is clearly the game I want to play because I'll get the top high score or whatever. So there you go. We now have learned how to submit a score to a leaderboard. We've learned how to bring up the leaderboards controller, which displays all leaderboards within a game. And we've now seen how to bring up individual leaderboards, which would be very useful if at the end of a level, say you wanted to show players what the top score were for that level. So there you go. That's about everything you need to start adding some leaderboards into your game. No MySQL database required. Really, no database required on your part. We do all that database work. So, go ahead and start adding these to your games. And remember, the best part is all this stuff works on both iOS and Android. So if I had my cross-platform version of Guess My Number, people could be competing against all their friends no matter what kind of phone they owned, which is pretty awesome. So there you go. In the next lesson, we're going to start taking a look at Cloud Save. This, I think, is one of the most powerful features that we provide. It's just a very simple, pretty straightforward to use Cloud Save solution that, again, works cross-platform. So, your Android players can save their state no matter what their device they're on. Your iOS players can save their state no matter what device they're on. And even if you were to have an Android phone and an iOS tablet, you'd be able to save your game across both of those platforms, which I think is pretty awesome. So we'll start taking a look at that in the next lesson. Stay tuned.